Hi friends, I'm Dr. Fazalunnisa, gynecologist, fertility specialist, Hira Fertility Center, clinical head, Tolichoki. So today we are going to discuss about what is IVF, because a lot of people who are undergoing IVF have these questions, and they have a certain inhibition regarding what is IVF, what are the steps that we are going to face, and is it a painful process. So we are going to discuss about IVF today. So what is IVF? In vitro fertilization. So generally when an egg and sperm meet, that is called as fertilization, and after 3 to 4 days of fertilization there is an embryo which is formed. This embryo goes and implants into the uterus. So now it grows into the uterus for 9 months as a baby. So for this to happen, you should have good tubes, good eggs, good sperms and a good endometrium. Any of the factors which is missing will lead to IVF. Say suppose there is a bilateral tubal blockage, that will lead to IVF. And say suppose the eggs are very less, like poor ovarian reserve, or the age of the lady is more than 38 years, or there is a very low sperm count, that is less than 5 million. So all these are the direct indications for an IVF. So how do we do an IVF? So generally from day 2 of the period in a lady, we give injections. These are called as hormonal injections, which we give at least for 10 days, so that how many ever eggs she has, say suppose she has 4 eggs on the right and 4 eggs on the left. So we are giving these injections for all the 8 eggs to grow. Okay, we track the record of this, the growth of these eggs. These are called as follicles. So once these attain a certain number like 18 to 20, we have to give them a trigger. Trigger ante, this is for maturity of the eggs. So after giving that trigger, we do something called as oocyte pickup. So this oocyte pickup is a painless process because this is done under anesthesia. We take a small needle which is very thin, and under anesthesia we withdraw all these follicles. It's like a fluid basically. From the eggs we take this liquid from the follicles, and that has an egg. Once we take all these eggs, we take a washed sperm sample from the man, and then we do something called as IVF. There is a difference between IVF and an ICSI. IVF, we just put the egg into a dish and leave the sperms there so that they naturally go and fertilize. But in an ICSI, what we do is we have a machine and we directly put the sperm and the egg together into a fertilization. So there's a machine which is called as ICSI machine, which puts both the sperm and egg together so that there is 90% more chance of fertilization. So once these eggs are fertilized, after 3 days they grow into embryos, and then we check the quality of the embryos and see there is something called as grading. We do the grading of the embryos, like grade A, grade B, grade C. If it's grade A, it's a very good quality embryo. If it's grade B, it's an average quality embryo. And if it's grade C, it's a bad quality embryo. So depending upon the embryo quality also, there are the chances of success. So 60% chances of the success depends upon the quality of the embryo. If the embryo quality is very good, there is high chance of success rate in the IVF. So as there is a notion that it is a very painful process, and then you will gain a lot of weight in this process. So there are recombinant injections which have come now, which do not cause any kind of side effects, and these are as easy as insulin pen. The patient themselves can give the injections to themselves. They are very painless injections, very small subcutaneous injections. So gone is the era when they used to have big injections and all that, and the scary part, that is OHSs, and that is sometimes in IVF the worst possible condition, that is OHSs, and too much of fluid comes into the pelvis. So that one dreadful complication of IVF is OHSs, in which there is too much of water accumulation around the ovaries. So this has to be, all these OHSs, all these complications can definitely be avoided if you give a very good trigger, if you monitor very well how your eggs are growing, and if you give a correct diagnosis and correct injections, then you will never land up into OHSS. So our clinic has been OHSS free. We never had a complication of IVF till now, and all these unnecessary complications can definitely be avoided because we are in more technologically advanced era of IVF, and there are so many pregnancies happening because of IVF. So don't disturb or get confused about IVF. If you have some questions, if you have any queries, please consult us. Please like, share and subscribe Hira Fertility, and please pass on the information.